Good morning, dear students. Now I am here with my second video of business studies on chapter 1, Nature and Significance of Management. Before going on to second topic in this video, let's have a quick review of the topics which we covered in video 1. In that video, we have studied about concept of management. Management may be defined as a process of getting things done with the aim of achieving goals effectively and efficiently. In this concept, there are three terms: process, effectively, and efficiently. Let's have a look on comparison between effectiveness and efficiency. Effectiveness refers to completion of task, whereas efficiency refers to completion of task correctly with minimum cost. Effectiveness is concerned with end result and efficiency is concerned with cost benefit analysis, that is using less resources and getting maximum benefits. And the third comparison is effectiveness is producing target production on time, whereas efficiency is producing target production to its minimum cost. But students, these both effectiveness and efficiency is required for an organization to achieve its goals, because without effectiveness, efficiency is not complete, and without efficiency, effectiveness is not complete. Next, we come to our second topic, that is characteristics of management. Management is a goal-oriented process, means it aims at achieving the goals decided in planning process. Second characteristics, management is all-pervasive. All-pervasive means it is applicable everywhere in all type of organization, whether the organization is profit-earning organization or it is an NGO which does not aim at earning profits. Third, management is multidimensional, that is management of work, management of people, and management of operations. Fourth, management is a continuous process, means all the functions of the management, they are continuously working in the organization. Like we starts from planning and ends at directing, and these all functions does not stop after achieving one goal, they continuously keeps on going. Fifth is management is a group activity, means in this the group efforts of all levels, the people working at different levels is required in management. Sixth, management is a dynamic function. Dynamic means which keeps on changing. The management function is a dynamic function because it works in the business environment, which is a dynamic environment. The environment also keeps on changing, and the management functions also cope up with the environment, and it also keeps on changing. 7. Management is an intangible force. Intangible here means which we cannot see but we can feel. The management functions cannot be seen. The process of management cannot be seen, but it can be felt with its working process. The next topic is objectives of management. There are three different objectives of management. That is, first is organizational objective. Organizational objective is related to the organization, the company, and the company has its own objective, that is to earn profit. With earning profit, they want to grow and expand their business and survival of the business in this competitive world. Second objective is social objective. It is towards the society in which the business is working. And the third objective is personal objective. That is, it is towards the employees which are working in the organization. Next topic is importance of management. First is management helps in achieving group goals. Means management helps in achieving the goals of the organization and of employees also, that is group goals. Management increases efficiency. Management creates a dynamic organization. Dynamic organization means organization which time to time changes, keeps on changing according to its environment. Management helps in achieving personal objective. Personal objective here is the objective of the employees, because employees join the organization with their own objectives, and it also helps in achieving their objective. Fifth is management helps in development of society by providing some facilities, employments to the society. So these are the importance of management. Now we move on to our next topic, nature of management. In this, management is compared with science, art and profession. Is management a science? Science is characterized by the following main features. Universal acceptance principle. Scientific principles may be applied in all situations, at all time and at all places. Similarly, management also contains some fundamental principles which can be applied universally. For example, the principle of unity of command, that is, one man, one boss. This principle is applicable to all type of organizations, business or non-business. Second characteristic of science is experimentation and observation. Scientific principles are derived through scientific investigation and research. That is, they are based on logic. Management principles are also based on scientific inquiry and observation. They have been developed through experiments and practical experiences of the large number of managers. Example: it is observed that fair remuneration to personnel helps in creating satisfied workforce. Third characteristic of science: cause and effect relationship. Principles of science lay down cause and effect relationship between various variables. For example, when metals are heated, they expand. The same is true for management. For example, it is a general observation that when the workforce is treated as well as paid well in the form of salary or bonus, it adds to their work efficiency, thereby increasing the productivity of the organization. Thus, it establishes a cause and effect relationship. Fourth principle: test of validity and predictability. Validity of science practicals can be tested at any time or any number of time, that is, they stand the test of time. Moreover, future events can be predicted with reasonable accuracy by using scientific principles. Similarly, the principles of management can also be tested for their validity. Example: Principle of unity of command can be tested by making a comparison with regards to clarity of thought and direction between two persons or one answerable to a single boss and another answerable to more than one. Thus, it is observed that principles of science like universally acceptance principle, experimentation and observation, cause and effect relationship, test of validity and predictability are true in case of management also. However, since management deals with human beings and human behavior, the outcomes of these experiments are not capable of being accurately predicted or replicated. Therefore, management can be called as inexact science. Is management an art? Management is an art in the sense within the confined structures there is great scope for use of creativity, imagination, initiative and invention within the overall years of the occupation. The scientific method and body of knowledge refers to must be applied in their own way to each and in any given situation, issues or problem. In management, creativeness is required. Skills and techniques describe the art of management. Now let's see some of the features of management as an art. First is practical knowledge. Every art requires practical knowledge. Therefore, it is very important to know practical application of theoretical principles. For example, in order to become a good dancer, a person should have knowledge of the art and various nrityas, etc., to use them appropriately. Similarly, a manager should also know how to apply various principles in real situation in his capacity as a manager instead of merely relying on his degree or diploma. Second feature of art: personal skills. Although the theoretical based may be same for every artist, each one has his own style and mode of interpretation. Example: there are several dancers, but Yamini Krishnamurti is noted for her style and grace. Similarly, management as an art is also personalized. Every manager has his own way of managing things based on his knowledge, experience, and personality, which is why some managers are highly effective while others are not so effective. Third feature: creativity. Every artist has an element of creativity, which is why he aims at producing something that has never existed before. This requires a combination of intelligence and imagination. Management is also creative in nature since it combines human and non-human resources in a useful way so as to achieve desired result. Next feature is perfection through practice. Every artist becomes more and more professional through constant practice. Similarly, Managers learn through an art of trial and error initially. That is why in management we keeps the training program as a new manager joins, or we try to give a single job to the person according to his qualification, because after that the application of management principles over the years make them perfect in the job of managing. Next is goal oriented. Every art is result oriented as it seeks to achieve concrete result. Management is also directed towards the accomplishment of predetermined goals. Managers use various resources like men, money, material, machinery, and method to promote growth in an organization. So, students, following are some of the activities in management in which art is being applied. Managers compete for resources against all other organizations with appropriate skills and techniques. Managers must make only what creates overwhelming value. Third, managers must reward those who deserve it. Buy what else you need and relabel it. Mix internal and external products to increase your value. And the last, retain employees by being successful. Management is an art because it requires defining a new way of looking at the nature of organizations, nature of work, nature of information, and the interrelationship thereof. Therefore, art will always have a part in the definition of management. Next is management as a profession. Now let us list the attributes of a profession. First, specialized knowledge. A profession must have a systematic body of knowledge that can be used for development of professionals. Every professional must make deliberate efforts to acquire expertise in the principle and techniques. Similarly, a manager must have devotion and involvement to acquire expertise in the science of management. Second, formal education and training. There are a number of institutes and universities to impart education and training for a profession. For example, a CA cannot audit the accounts unless he has acquired a degree or diploma for the same. But a degree in management is not mandatory by law, though it is always an added advantage. Third, social obligations. Profession is a source of livelihood, but professionals are primarily motivated by the desire to serve society. Actions of professionals are influenced by the social norms and values. Similarly, a manager is responsible not only to his superiors but also to society. Therefore, he is expected to provide quality goods at reasonable prices to society, and it is being expected from a manager or a management of a company that they should do something to increase the standard of living of the people of the society in which their company is working. Fourth, code of conduct. Members of a profession has to abide by a code of conduct which contains certain rules and regulations, norms of honesty, integrity, and special ethics. A code of conduct is enforced by a representative association to ensure self-discipline among his members. Any member violating the code of conduct can be punished and his membership can be withdrawn. The All India Management Association has prescribed a code of conduct for managers, but it has no right to take legal actions against any manager who violates it. The fifth characteristic: representative association. For the regulation of a profession, the existence of a representative body is a must. For example, the Institute of CA of India establishes and administers standards of competence for auditors. However, All India Management Association does not have any statutory powers to regulate the activities of managers. However, it is argued that a profession cannot develop without research into the nature of the discipline with which the profession is concerned. In light of developments taking place, management is undergoing the process of professionalization. By acquiring some of the characteristics of a fully developed profession, the All India Management Association has prescribed some of the code of conducts for managers, but it has no right to take legal action against any manager who violates it. And they are as follows: formal education to degree level, existence and strengthening of prescribed organization, foundation and development of prescribed literature, increased research activity supplying the discipline with new theoretical frameworks, new knowledge to deal with issues of technological development affecting the work of organization and effective management of their records. In addition to research activities which are important and necessary if a profession is to continue and developing and maintaining its status. In the case of management, this is indeed taking place now. Now students, from the above discussion, it is quite clear that management fulfills several essentials of a profession. Even then, it is not a full-fledged profession because it does not restrict the entry in managerial jobs. No minimum qualification have been prescribed for managers. No management association has the authority to grant a certificate of practice to various managers. All managers are supposed to abide by the code formulated by All India Management Association. Competent education and training facilities do not exist. Managers are responsible to many groups such as shareholders, employee, and society. A regulatory code may curtail their freedom. Managers are known by their performance and not mere degree. The ultimate goal of a business is to maximize profit and not social welfare. Here students, you come to know that management is both a science as well as an art. as a science, management, with the help of its principles, provides the necessary guidance to the managers to achieve practical efficiency. And with reference to art, management in the form of best work technique helps the managers to face every type of situation successfully. It is therefore that management is both as a science and an art. But in the case of profession, management is not said a full-fledged profession because it does not fulfill some of the characteristics of the profession, and some of the characteristics have yet to blossom or develop. So, that is why Hames has rightly remarked the slogan for management: "He who serves best also profits most." Thank you.